she parked her silver SUV right beside the fresh grave, like it was a grocery store parking lot. The engine was still running, exhaust drifting through the cold morning air, right into the faces of people holding flowers. My hands were shaking, not from the wind, but from disbelief. We were burying my son, and that woman, that HOA President Karen, had just rolled in like she owned the cemetery. "Excuse me," I said, my voice breaking. "This is a burial." She didn't even look at me. She just took off her sunglasses and said, "Your family wasn't approved to use this section. You people didn't get HOA clearance." HOA clearance? For a cemetery? My wife dropped the white rose she was holding. My brother stepped forward, fists tight, but I stopped him. "Don't," I whispered. "She's not worth it." But inside, something snapped. Karen slammed her car door shut and stood there like she was at some board meeting. "I already told the management," she said loudly, making sure everyone heard. "If you people don't move this service, I'll have the car towed. The rules are rules." The priest froze mid-prayer. Even the wind stopped for a second. Everyone looked at me, waiting, expecting me to shout, to fight, to do something. But I just stared at the dirt, because deep down, I knew this wasn't the first time she'd tried to humiliate my family. Last month, she fined us for having our flag too low. Before that, she said my son's memorial cross didn't match neighborhood aesthetics. But this was beyond cruel. "Karen," I said slowly, stepping closer, "if you don't move your car in the next 10 seconds, you're going to regret it." She smirked. "Oh, I'll regret it? Honey, I am the HOA. You people don't scare me." I smiled back, just a little. "You might want to save that line," I said, "for the judge." Her smile faded, just a bit. She didn't know, not yet, that I'd already recorded every word she said, that I'd already filed a complaint, that there was a law she had just broken by parking where she did. But she'd find out soon, and when she did, her fake power would mean nothing. The cops showed up 15 minutes later, sirens off, lights flashing red across the graves. Karen stood tall, pretending she called them. "Officer," she said, pointing at me like I was a criminal, "this man is disturbing HOA property. He's trying to bury someone illegally." The officer frowned. "Ma'am, this is a cemetery." Karen laughed nervously, trying to hold her ground. "Well, yes, but this section is maintained by the HOA. He didn't have authorization to use it. It's against community rules." The officer looked at me, then at the small headstone behind me with my son's name engraved. His voice softened. "Sir, is this your child's burial?" I nodded once. My wife held my arm tighter. Karen interrupted. "You see, he admits it. He's trespassing." That's when something in me went completely still. No anger, no tears, just a kind of calm that comes before a storm. I reached into my coat and pulled out a small folder. "Officer, you might want to see this," I said quietly. Inside were 2 documents, one from the city, confirming the plot was legally ours, and another from the State Cemetery Board. Both had official stamps. Karen froze. Her smile vanished. "This area," the officer said slowly, reading the papers, "is under city jurisdiction, not HOA. You don't have any authority here, ma'am." She tried to laugh it off. "There must be some mistake. I've been managing this area for years." "No," I said. "You've been pretending to. You forged letters, bullied families, and charged people fake maintenance fees. I have every receipt and recording." The crowd started whispering. Even the priest looked stunned. Karen's face turned red. You can't prove that." "Oh, I already did," I replied. "The city inspector has everything. You'll be hearing from them soon." But she didn't wait for that. She shoved past the officer and tried to get in her car, slamming the door so hard it echoed through the cemetery. The officer moved quickly. "Ma'am, you're not going anywhere. We need to verify these claims." "I'm not under arrest," she shouted. "You can't touch me. I'm the HOA president." He sighed. "You were." Karen's eyes widened. That single word hit harder than anything. And just as the officer began questioning her, my phone buzzed with a message from the city official. It read, "We just reviewed the footage you sent. Her name's on 3 fake property filings. Proceed carefully." I looked up at her through the windshield. She was gripping the steering wheel, shaking, but still trying to smile like she was in control. She had no idea that her world was already falling apart, piece by piece. As the officer radioed for backup, Karen suddenly threw her car into reverse, tires screeching against the gravel. People screamed and stepped back as dust flew everywhere. She sped toward the cemetery gates, nearly hitting a headstone on her way out. The cop cursed under his breath, ran to his patrol car, and took off after her. The rest of us stood frozen, staring at the mess she'd left behind, the tracks cutting right across the grave, the flowers scattered, the cross snapped in half. My wife fell to her knees, her voice breaking. She ran over his grave. She ran over our baby's grave. I couldn't move. My chest felt tight, my jaw locked. I looked at the ground and whispered, "She's done. She's absolutely done." The next few hours blurred together. Detectives came. They took photos, asked questions, collected what was left of the broken cross. The cemetery staff checked security cameras. I didn't say much. I just stood there, holding my wife's hand, staring at the dirt she'd desecrated. That night, my phone buzzed again. It was Officer Daniels, the one who'd first arrived. "She didn't get far," he said. "We caught her 2 miles from the cemetery. She tried to hide at a gas station, said she was being harassed." I exhaled slowly. "Did she admit anything?" He chuckled softly. "She said the same thing she said to you. I am the HOA. Then she started screaming about her rights. But guess what we found in her car?" I didn't answer. "A stack of fake HOA notices," he said. "Dozens of them. Plus a binder with property maps and names. Families she's been targeting. It's worse than we thought." For a second, I didn't know whether to feel angry or relieved. Maybe both. "She hurt a lot of people," I said quietly. Daniels replied, "Yeah, but now she's going to answer for it. The county attorney already wants to file charges. Desecration of graves, impersonation of an official, property fraud. It's a long list." I looked out the window toward the small memorial candle burning on my porch. My son's picture glowed softly behind the flame. "She thought she could do anything," I murmured. "Even to the dead." Daniels' voice grew firm. "She picked the wrong family this time." Little did Karen know, she hadn't just trespassed on sacred ground. She had triggered a law she didn't even know existed, one that carried a maximum sentence of 10 years. And I was going to make sure she got every single one of them. The courtroom was packed, every seat taken, every whisper echoing like thunder. Reporters filled the back row, cameras flashing, each time Karen adjusted her blazer or forced another fake smile. She still thought she could talk her way out of this, the same way she'd bullied half the town. But this time, she wasn't the one in control. The judge, a gray-haired man with calm but sharp eyes, flipped through the case file. "Mrs. Reynolds," he said, "you're being charged with multiple counts of fraud, trespassing, and desecration of a burial site. How do you plead? Karen rose to her feet, voice trembling just a little. Not guilty, Your Honor. This entire case is a misunderstanding. I was enforcing community guidelines. The courtroom murmured. Even the bailiff rolled his eyes. I sat quietly beside my wife, my hands clenched together. Karen glanced back once, trying to give me that same smug smile she wore at the cemetery. I didn't move. I just watched her fall apart, piece by piece. The prosecutor stood and opened a laptop. Your Honor, I'd like to present Exhibit B, video footage taken by the defendant herself. Karen's head jerked up. What? On the screen, the video started to play. Karen's own phone recording, her bragging to a friend while parked at the cemetery. They can cry all they want, her voice echoed through the speakers. Rules are rules. HOA land means my rules. Gasps filled the courtroom. My wife covered her mouth, tears falling. Karen turned pale. That's not... Silence, the judge snapped. The prosecutor continued. Additionally, this document shows the land in question was transferred to the city 10 years ago, meaning the HOA has zero authority over it. She was warned multiple times by city officials to stop issuing fake permits. Instead, she targeted grieving families. The judge leaned forward. Mrs. Reynolds, do you have anything to say? Karen's lips trembled. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I was just trying to maintain order. Order? The judge's tone cut like ice. You parked on a child's grave. Silence. Dead, heavy silence. Karen's lawyer tried to speak, but the judge lifted a hand. Don't. I've seen enough. He shuffled his papers, then looked straight at me. Mr. Walker, I can't imagine your pain, and I can't undo what's been done, but I can deliver justice. Karen began shaking her head. No, please, The judge's gavel hit once, echoing like thunder. For desecration of a burial site and fraudulent impersonation of authority, I sentence you to 10 years in state prison. The crowd erupted. Some clapped, some cried. I just sat there, numb. Karen screamed as officers took her hands, the same hands that once waved fake notices and threats. This isn't fair. You can't do this to me. The judge's voice was calm but final. You did it to yourself. As they dragged her away, she turned toward me, eyes wide, voice cracking. But I didn't say a word. I simply stood up, took my wife's hand, and walked out. Outside, sunlight broke through the clouds. For the first time in months, it felt warm again.